For centuries, warfare has meant different things to different people. But one thing has remained constant. Citadels are the center of gravity for defenders involved in wars. And if you look at the Russia-Ukraine conflict, that is exactly what happened as far as the defense of Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine, is concerned. In the initial months or even weeks of the offensive that was launched by Russia, it was expected that Russia will roll into Kyiv from the northern axis, starting from Belarus, and of course joining up with the offensive coming from the east in Ukraine. Unfortunately, the Russians underestimated the entire plan that the Ukrainians had to defend their capital city and the center of gravity. And that's exactly what Air Chief Marshal V.R. Chaudhari pointed out in his interaction with our editors under the program Strat Talks last week. Listen in what he said about what went wrong as far as the initial Russian tactics were concerned.
So if you look at the very broad attack plan during the special operations in February of 22, there were 4 thrust axes from the Russian side. The one which was coming in from the Belarusian side towards Kyiv, included using of the Spetsnaz forces and the airborne forces to land and take over the Homostel airfield outside Kyiv, and thereafter marry up with the ground forces coming in from the northern side. But they had to give up this because of the stiff opposition which
the airborne forces failed actually.
They did not anticipate the kind of opposition, so they gave up the attack on the Kyiv axis, and then they continued on the on their eastern flanks towards Kharkiv and Donbass region only.
Let's dwell on Kyiv a little bit. Kyiv had many reasons for failure actually. It was a wrong employment of an armored force. It is a single line going, it has to be a broad stroke, and there has to be much more of airborne forces like you were talking about, and much more of softening up of the depth defenses before you launch a thing like this with the air power perhaps. They didn't do that. That I feel was one of the primary things. And secondly, I always say that it was overconfidence of Russian generals, that they could just drive through and get to Kyiv in a couple of days' time and dictate what will Kyiv do thereafter.
I agree with you. They probably felt that it will be a pushover. I mean, they can actually roll into Kyiv. But you have to look at, what you mentioned about a city or a citadel. Traditionally, anywhere in military history, every citadel has been protected with whatever means they can.
Correct.
Okay. Whether it is, you from the days of Alexander or even Indian history is replete with examples where forts and citadels have been held to the last man. Yes. And it is not easy to breach a citadel. So to plan to be able to breach a city like Kyiv probably was not the right strategy.